Today I'm joined by Holli Wheeler, currently with the Sharks, previously with the Dragons. She's represented New South Wales and Australia. You've done it all. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me today.
Absolute pleasure, absolute pleasure. But before we get into anything, obviously when this comes out, it's not going to be Mother's Day, but it's Mother's Day today. So I want to do a massive shout out to all the mums out there. You know, you guys do incredible work, and it's probably the most understated job in the world, and you know, you're all fighting battles, raising kids, holding families together. You know, you're the glue that holds families together, and you know, we all play sport as well because, you know, you're the ones that drive us around and wash our uniforms and all that sort of stuff. So massive love, massive shout out to all the mums out there, and we appreciate you, we see you, and we love you all.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, mums do play a massive part in getting us to our games, buying our kits, everything like that. So we couldn't do it without them, for
100%.
sure. I've started all my chats with the other girls the same way, getting to know you guys outside of footy. So I guess professionally speaking, when you're not in season, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I work full time. I work for a community housing provider, Bridge Housing over on the Northern Beaches. So it's, you know, affordable housing, government housing, and I got into that because I was doing real estate. Left school, started doing real estate, and ended up in community housing, and I absolutely love it. It's so rewarding, it's challenging, no 2 days are the same, and so outside of footy, like, that's a full-on job for me, and it's it takes up obviously a lot of my time, and but I love it. Like I said, it's so rewarding to be able to help people in need and get people off the streets and into a house with a roof over their heads. And so other than that, working full time. I'm a fiend for the beach. I love being down the beach, and that's sort of my happy place, and getting in the water as much as I can. So otherwise I'm outside having a coffee and just enjoying being outside. So other than that, I'm pretty chockers during Monday to Friday sort of thing with work and everything else. But that's sort of me on the day-to-day.
So I guess you mentioned that you do that full-time with the season. How do you kind of manage that working full-time? Is it really hard to balance it all? Yeah,
so I'm really fortunate, probably one of few that are able to still work full-time and be able to play, full-time in season. My job, like I said, is quite challenging, and there's a bit to balance there, but my company, Bridge, they're fantastic. When I first came on, we were open up front, we had conversations around flexibility and things like that, and the more I have to commit to football, they're open to me, flexible working arrangements and things like that in season. So I'm really, really fortunate. Like I said, probably one of few that their job are able to allow us for me to do both, have my cake and eat it too. So I'm very, very fortunate, very lucky. You see a lot of girls have to either quit their jobs or take a leave of absence during season, which is so unfortunate. Go back to casual and things like that. So, as much as it's a incredible opportunity to play rugby league as a professional athlete, but something else takes a hit behind the scenes. So, it is. We're getting there. We're getting to a position where we're going to be full time, which is incredible. At the moment, we're still sort of finding our feet in that aspect. So, I'm really extremely fortunate and lucky that my company looks after me.
I guess talking more personally, how do you kind of approach that conversation with your boss, employer, and be like, hey, I've actually got a really huge commitment. I am an NRLW player. I'm trying to do that. But I also love you guys and what you've been able to provide for me. I love my professional career. Have you had backlash from your employers that are like, oh no, you should be prioritizing this over that? Or is it I know you said they were great, but how do you kind of balance your being there for your company and being there for footy?
Yeah, look, it is difficult at times, and there are times when, I've had to have conversations with managers around if something urgent comes up at work, that is still a priority for me. That at the end of the day, 365 days of the year, that pays my bills. Football at the moment is a side gig, if you want to look at it in that respect. So there are times when I've had to stay back at work. In saying that, it's probably just having the transparency and having the confidence to go and have those conversations with my manager and with my coaches. I was really, really fortunate when I was at the Dragons. Obviously, that's a massive drive from Northern Beaches down to Wollongong. Had a conversation straight up with Sowie when he first came on, and spoke about my commitments with work and things like that. So we worked together. He pushed training back, I think, about half an hour when we were starting, sort of thing, to allow me to get there in time. And there was days where I couldn't get there. Traffic's horrendous. If you've ever tried to go over the bridge or in the tunnel of an afternoon around school traffic, it's absolutely horrendous. So, days when I was running late, I'd be stressing and I'm nervous and I'm biting my fingernails to the stumps. So give him a call. He's like, it's cool, man. Yeah. It's okay. It's chill. So, being in the right environment is probably really important as well. If you've got a career or a job where they're not supporting you outside of your job, like if they just see you as an employee and that's it, you're probably in the wrong industry for if that's what you want to do. So finding the right in like career, job, whatever that might be, that knows who you are as a person and can support you outside of that, it's really important. Then obviously just being transparent, like, at the end of the day, like I said, that pays my bills as well. So, I think it's just about having those frank and honest conversations straight off the bat. Get in early, have those conversations and lay a platform, find out, take and give what can work. And then go from there. Yeah, that's great insight. I think a lot of people don't really understand the implications around having that type of season and then being a full-time and try to balance that all. I guess talking about your rugby league career, how would you, from a top level, describe it so far? I get so excited when I talk about women's rugby league, rugby league in general. I grew up in a absolutely footy mad household. My father played, so like my earliest memories of going to footy is watching my father play, and then my brothers playing. And back in the day, obviously I'm a bit older, but back in the day, there wasn't a pathways for women's rugby league. And I remember going to watch my brother play, and there was a young girl from up, I think it was Port Macquarie or Kempsey Way, and she was playing, and I'm like, that's a girl. I'm like, Dad, I want to play. And he's like, you can't. Back then you could play up until you were 12, then you couldn't play again, and
crazy. Good
luck finding somewhere to play after that sort of thing. You had to come to Sydney. Look, it's that's all I knew growing up was rugby league, and I got the opportunity later on in life. I've spoken a bit about it. Kylie Hilda, we all know Kylie. She lives in Foster, so about 20 minutes from my hometown, and we knew each other. I think I've known her since I was about 10. Family friends and things like that, and then obviously playing sport, and we'd cross paths numerous times. And she'd been in the game development, been working so hard about building the women's women's space and building it to be something. And she started, league tag in our area. We were one of the first areas to start league tag back in 2018. And it was before then. Like I said, one of the first. And then she's like, oh, look, I'm going to drive to Newcastle. I'm going to play for Newcastle in the Sydney comp. And I thought, you know what? Like, stuff this, I'm doing it. Like, can you give me posse, like, get me in there. Like, I don't care, I'll come with you, And I was playing hockey at the time, and at quite a competitive level. And, I just sort of felt like I'd done what I could there. And so when Kylie was like, yeah, I'm doing it, I'm like, get me in the car, I'm coming, and get me a spot. And so like I credit a lot of that, early conversations, like I've got a career because she took a chance and, opened up her car doors, and I jumped in, and, like I'm here now because of that and that opportunity. So to see now how the game's grown and how it continues to grow is fantastic. Like I love it. Like seeing the expansion of the 2 new teams, I was like, I get goosebumps thinking about it, because I'm like, how good's this? Like we're expanding. I think the important thing though, like what the NRL has done really, really well is they haven't jumped in too quickly and haven't expanded. Like you watch the women's AFL, they were like, hey, here's 16 teams straight away. There's not the depth, there's not the skill level to have that. And I think, everyone's like, we want more teams, which is fantastic. And yeah, we do, but we want to make sure that we grow the game organically, that we're putting quality games out every weekend. Like we don't want to be trash because our games aren't up to standard and things like that. So to see that it's been a slow growth in the right space has been fantastic, and I love it because you're seeing the development. You're seeing these young girls come through now through the system. So they've come through Lisa Fayola, Tasha Gale, then into Harvey's, into NRLW, and you're like, how skillful are these players because they've had the correct development. Great. So it's fantastic. Like the women's space is in absolutely incredible hands, and to be a part of that growth, and to look back one day to say I was a part of that. Like I got to play, and I was there that first year when we first had a competition. Like I played in an inaugural team of the initial, it's goosebumps, and something that, like I'll, be able to share with my kids and, my nieces and nephews and things like that. And, like I said, it's incredible. It's jumping leaps and bounds. And the best part is, you see, old school men that have always watched footy and they love their footy. And, you think they're going to be the ones that tell you this is crap. They're the ones that come up to you and shake your hand and say like, that was a really good game. And I really enjoy the women's space. I think because we're still developing, we don't have the wrestle, the niggle, how the sort of men's game's kind of going now. We go out there, we bash the shit out of each other, literally. And then hug and, have a kiss or whatever it is after, like, kiss and make up. And, and they appreciate that. So you got these old geezers that are in their stubbies and they're, and they're saying, how fucking good is the women's rugby league? So that brings the biggest smile to my face. And even, the harshest of critics are saying like, hey, you got something good here. So we know we're on the right path.
100%. And you spoke about the kids and your nieces and nephews. Like looking now at, you knew where you were when you were younger and growing up and having to watch your brother, was it? So now knowing that you and a lot of other women and girls are now creating this space, how does that make you feel to know that your nieces can now look at rugby league and watch you play and be like, oh my God, I want to be like my auntie?
Yeah, it's incredible. Like you talk to a lot of the older players, Ali Brigginshaw, Samantha Bremner, Rue, like all these players that there wasn't a pathway, and then they look back and they're the ones that paved the way for us to have what we have now. And you speak about these, the ladies that were around in World Cup. Oh, they were over in England. Last time they were in England, I can't remember exactly the year, maybe 2008 maybe, or something like that. They had to pay to go overseas to play in a World Cup, play for your country. Tasha Gale speaks about selling raffle tickets at the pub to go over and be able to play for your country at a World Cup. Their jerseys were 8 sizes too big. They're selling raffle tickets. Like, to now look back and go, hey, there is a clear pathway from grassroots to NRL. That's fucking incredible.
How crazy.
And it's not just there's a pathway, it's a really well thought out, it's clear, it's bringing the skill levels up. And to look back and like my niece played her first year of rugby league, I think it was a year or two ago. So she's similar to me, very short attention span, off with the fairies a lot of the time. And I think she spent most of the time running off to get a drink from my mum. So like, I need a drink. Like, I haven't done anything. Or, she was just happy to be involved and social little thing. But to go and she has the opportunity to do that, that's incredible. And it wasn't that long ago that there wasn't. So that's really grown a lot in the last few years. So, you get young boys coming up to you saying like, oh, you're the best. Like, can I have your boots? Like, that was so good. Like, you smashed her. And it's like, these are young boys that are coming up appreciating us. So it's not just young girls, it's young kids. And, any of us girls, and I wholeheartedly say any of us women after a game, like we literally have to get dragged back to the sheds to do the team debrief after a game, because we'd spend all night out there signing autographs, giving away our stuff, whatever we could to put a smile on some kid's face. And because we've been in the stands when, your favourite player, is walking around and you get a wave and you think, oh, come and sign me, oh my God, he looks at me like, hey, we're in a position where we can give back. And I think that's really incredible about the women's space is we're so happy to give back. We're appreciative of where we've come and how we've grown and the support that we've received. So we want to give back as much as we can. So like I said, I'm excited about where it's going and excited to be a part of it. And I can't wait to see it, to then sit here in 5 years' time and look back and go, how much has it grown even in the last 5 years? So exciting times ahead. Yeah,
talking about what you've done, you have achieved so much in your rugby league career. Is there a career highlight so far that you've kind of remembered and will never forget?
Always representing your country, like how do you beat that? But like I said, growing up in a footy mad household, Origin was better than Christmas Day for us. So to get the opportunity to play State of Origin, and unfortunately prior to 2018 when they actually officially made it, State of Origin, which I just think is disrespectful for the women and the games played beforehand. But the first year, I guess that, they had this under the banner and there was a bit of build up around it, and it was a home game for us. It was in North Sydney Oval, and to have it packed out, to be a part of that was probably, I get goosebumps thinking about it. Like I said, Origin was massive in our household. To then turn around to my dad and say, like, I'm playing State of Origin, like I'm in a sky blue jersey.
Crazy.
And then obviously, World Cup and playing for your country is incredible, and it's an honour. But I think that the New South Wales Shamir, very, very, that probably holds a highlight. And like I said, because I've come into it, I got the opportunity to play like in an inaugural team, and I've got my I've got a Dragons number, in that first team, like to have that and be able to reflect back on and things like that. So there's little milestones, along the way that makes, your career special. And, like I could sit here and list a handful. Everything. I think definitely that sky blue jersey, that was my first rep jersey, and, something that I, cherish, and I knew how proud and my family was, and how did my mates, my family in the stands, and like I said, it was incredible to be part of that, and that sky blue jersey means more to me than anything really. So definitely that, I think, if I had to name one.
You already kind of touched on it, but we're speaking about the expansion with the Bulldogs and the Warriors, and how excited you are, and how you're for that kind of expansion. But what do you hope is in the near future for the NRLW? I guess with the expansion, I know you're excited about it, but what do you kind of hope to achieve?
Look, everyone's saying more teams, which is great, but I think we need to nurture what we've got at the moment. So next year, obviously, it's the latest expansion, and I think we probably need to halt there for a little bit. Keep the teams as it is, so 12 team next year. So keep it 12. If there's a bit more money in it where we can go full time, where it's like keep the 12 teams, play each other twice, that's a full season then. I would have been happy with 10. Give us a home and away game each, semis and a grand final. We can practically then have a full comp. I know it comes a lot into the financials, because obviously it's a massive commitment. We wouldn't be able to work outside of that realistically, maybe casually sort of thing. So I know that it's a huge financial, that's the biggest hurdle, basically. But, I'd love to see people investing in the women's space and development there. And, we aren't in it at the moment. Like I know a lot of the girls aren't in it to make money. Like we're in it to make this space incredible, and we want to give back and lay that platform. We know, us older players especially, we're not here for much longer, and in a playing aspect, and we want to just leave the game in a better place than we found it. So we just want to keep developing it and making sure that when we finish up that the game is growing and it's looked after. And look, I'm not saying we need 16 teams. I'm like, keep it at 10 or 12 now. Just give us 2 games each and make it a season then. Like you've cut our Harveys. Obviously Queensland still play BMD, but cut our Harveys. So let's just expand it. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of money in that, but I think that's where we need to go. Like, give us more games. Like, you look at the first game of the season, same with the men's, and then you look at the last game and you think, God, the girls, they've only played 9 games. They're hitting their straps now. That's where we want to. Our games as a whole is going to go to a whole new level the more we play with each other. Combinations, like, imagine saying to the men, you have 9 games. Show us what you can do. It's not enough.
No.
Teams are still finding their feet now 10 rounds in. So it's 100%. I just think give us more games.
I was saying on a personal note, I was saying to Alex, like, I did a skills session with S2S the other day. Now, I've never played rugby league, never had to do any skills like that, but my body has, like, it feels like I've gone through a war. And I couldn't imagine being 10 months off season, having to go into pre-season, doing those little challenge, meetups each month, if you guys are doing that. Like, trying to condition your body and then have it so ready for game 1. And the amount of physical strength that you guys need to put your best foot forward and the best game forward within those 10 rounds is just, it's unbelievable.
Exactly. And nothing replaces match fitness and match conditioning. So we can have our 8 weeks pre-season and we get our, our sessions, our strength and conditioning, send us our programs in that time off. Nothing can replace match fitness, match conditioning, So it's like, we can prepare as much as we want, but like it's not going to ever be enough. That's why I'm just like, give us more games and then see what we can really do. Like we'll go next level if you give us a couple more games. It doesn't even have to be 2 home and away games. Just give us a couple more rounds. Give us 14 rounds, extra couple games, and then watch how good our season goes kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I know the NRL are looking at it as a, they want to develop it correctly. So, I'll leave it up to the professionals, but I'm always like, give me more games. I want to play. And I think a lot of the girls are the same. We just want to play. So let the girls play. So we'll see what happens and just keep progressing and taking what we've got at the moment and being grateful for what we've got at the moment. Like we're in an incredible position, and as an athlete in that position, I pinch myself every single time I get to go to training. So we'll take what we can get at this point.
You touched on it earlier, the development of the girls with the Tasha Gale, the Lisa Fiola, Harvey Norman, BMD. Do you wish that you were 18 now so that you could potentially have the chance to play full-time NRLW?
100%, 100%. If there's a time machine out there, let me know, please, because I'm going back. 100%. And I think any of the girls that are a little older would, in a heartbeat, say the exact same thing. In saying that, obviously you can't go back, and I'm just grateful that they've got those pathways in there now. So, it is what it is. And like I said, I'm grateful for having played one NRL game, let alone, the amount that I've played, so, and the amount that I'll play in the future. So I'll take what I can get. But it's incredible. I fucking love seeing these young girls come through. And I did a jersey presentation for the young girls at the Bulldogs, Lisa Fiola, and, they're huge. I was standing next to them being like, here's your jersey. Like, are you kidding me? You're 16?
Crazy.
Like, I'm looking at the... I said to a few of them, like, what do you eat? Can you tell me? But it's, it's incredible that they've been in a system. And it shows. And, it's scary. Like when these girls are old enough, I think I'll be happily retired. Run to me. Like I'm happy. And I'm talking like, it's not just, they're just built different and it's cool. It's cool to see. Scary, but cool to see. So, I don't know what they're feeding them, but I need some, I think.
I guess, now we're talking, a little bit more about you and you as an athlete. How tough you experienced an ACL injury in 2020 and then you went down with another knee injury. How was that mentally and physically?
2020, the ACL was my first major injury. I was fortunate at the time, I guess. COVID hit and the season was a bit up in the air. So, a lot of people are like, look on the bright side, like you're not really missing much. And I'm like, I get that. And I hadn't been through a big injury. And at the time, I was living with Chantel and she'd been through a couple of major injuries herself. So it was good to kind of have someone to bounce off having bad days and what to expect. And, I'd be like, I can't even cross my legs, or it's really stiff and it's aching. And she'd be like, small steps, like, but yesterday you did this. You walked up the stairs pain-free. And I'm like, I did. Like, it's about, obviously resetting, about celebrating the small wins. And I think that's been massive. And I've spoken to a few girls, younger girls that have gone through ACLs. It's a blessing in disguise because you come back a different beast. Makes you hungrier. You have the understanding and you appreciate the importance of basically building from the ground up. So you have to start again, especially, from your lower body. And some of the best advice I got was from the physios that I was working with at Dragons at the time. And they said, if you go and build a house, you're building this beautiful house, it's structurally sound, it's perfect, but you're building it on sand, it's going to fall, it's going to crumble. So they're like, pretty much stuff what this looks like at the moment. We've got to set your foundations. You've got to have strong foundations. So that for me, because I was like, I want to run before I could walk, and they were like, no, like let's strip it right back down. So for me, I learned a lot of patience and understanding and appreciation of those smaller things. So I didn't just change physically, it changed me a lot mentally. And like I said, I was in a different space then. And the second injury, my knee injury last year, not as severe as an ACL, but completely snapped my MCL and partially tore my patella and dislocated my kneecap. So massive shout out to Kezi Apps and Emma Tonegado. They tell me to shut up all the time about this, but I always like to remind them that, two of my good mates were the ones that put me on the sideline. But, look, it happens in the game. And it was I really struggled because we played on the Saturday. The Friday afternoon, I got a call from Kylie Hilder and was like, mate, you've been playing incredible. I got you back in my Origin side. So she'd rang me. I'd missed out the year previously just, through, my form wasn't up to scratch. Kylie wanted to play a particular way. I understand that.
Cool.
So to have like this hard conversation with her the year prior and come back and work my ass off, be playing really good footy, have this call. I remember getting the call, goosebumps. I was in tears in the lunchroom. My mate was sitting next to me and she's like, what is it? And I was like, she goes, like, yes or no, because she knew I was waiting for this call. So like to go from the highest of highs, like I said to you, that sky blue jersey means more to me than anything. So to have, to just be like, I'm there, and then to be in a knee brace the next day, your fingers crossed, it's just a dislocation, there's 6 weeks or 8 weeks between Origin, so like there's time there. And then the scan showed, complete rupture of my MCL and, partially tear of my patella. So going through that, and that unfortunately was my right knee. So I'm in a knee brace post-op for 8 weeks. I can't drive. I was living in a property with a lot of stairs. If anyone's been in a knee brace before, you know how much of a toll it takes on your body. It throws your hip out, it throws your back out. Everything's aching. So that mentally got me, like I couldn't go just in my car for a bit of a drive down the beach and just sit and chill. And I didn't have that escape, and I struggled a lot mentally with that. I was in a very supportive space. I lived with one of my best mates, very supportive. I was very grateful for that. But that was the first time that I really, really was struggling mentally. And I reached out, spoke a little bit on it, but I probably didn't speak enough on it. I didn't process it enough. I just was like counting down the days to get back. And I was not supposed to be back till around 5 or 6. And I was like, I want to be back around 1. And that was unachievable. And I, worked my ass off to get back for round 2. I probably pushed it a little bit, but I was like, I got to repay the girls that are, put in this. I, want to bust my ass and all that. So I think as well, I rushed back because I just wanted to get back playing. I thought getting back to playing would help all the noise in my head kind of thing. It didn't. I struggled a lot, and I didn't speak up enough. And I think like, the importance around mental health, especially in the position that we're in. Some of us have jobs outside, some of us have families, kids. Football's then our escape. And I think, we speak a lot on, like I spoke before, about non-selection in teams and injury and things like that. We don't probably speak enough on the mental health side of things. And I think a lot of younger kids as well struggle, but don't know what to say. They think that they're going to be at a disadvantage if they speak up. And coming from myself, I've 6 weeks ago snapped my collarbone playing up in BMD, and another surgery. Thankfully it wasn't as severe. Like I can drive and I can get out and about. I was only in a brace, for a week after surgery. So, but again, like I took a massive hit mentally because I hadn't processed my knee injury from the previous year. I hadn't processed probably correctly, relationship breakdowns. I was really sick. So there was a lot compiling over the last sort of 2 years where I hadn't fully processed or healed from or allowed myself to feel what I should feel.
Yeah.
Process it, sit in it for a second and push away what doesn't serve me anymore and process what I needed to. And I think that's really important is like, you kind of think, oh, it's all right, and or you sit there for a moment and then you kind of want to just flick it away. And I think it's important to sit and process and allow your body to feel what it needs to feel the emotions, reach out. And I can't speak enough on the importance of reaching out and having a support team around you, whether that's mates, family, whatever that might be, leaning on them a lot. Yeah. I never want to put someone out, so I didn't want to pick up the phone to say, hey man, I'm struggling. And the last couple of weeks I've had to make those phone calls a few times to a few mates and pick the phone up and say, like, I'm really struggling, and I've got amazing support around me where they understood. Some days I would talk and some days I wouldn't, and I really pulled back a lot from people around me, and I just wanted to be alone and things like that. And it's a pretty dark space, but I wanted to speak on the importance of it is okay to not be okay. And I know that's a saying that everyone, you see it all the time, but it's so important having those people around you. But there's no one answer to someone having these problems.
Yeah.
What might work for you may not work for me. And I think the important thing is keep trying to find what works for you. A lot of the stuff that works for me isn't traditional, so it's not, I've been to therapists and things like that, spoken about it. It's not what I need. Might be exactly what you need, but it's not for me. I tried that, and so there's other avenues then that I try and I find what works for me. And I think that's important to have an outlet, because if we don't, we get in our head. You factor in your day-to-day, and then you factor in being a professional athlete, the highs and lows of that. You have a shit game, you get trashed. Something happens, you get trashed on social media. Non-selection, underperforming. Game day is a hype, you know what I mean? There's so much happening where if you don't have those outlets, you're going to implode. Yeah. And like I said, I really imploded the last few weeks, and was really, really struggling, and lent on really incredible people. So I want to say thank you for that. I'm not going to, name everyone individually, you know who you are, but you got me through a really tough time, and I appreciate that, sorry. But just want to, especially for the younger girls coming through, like, shout out. It's just put your hand up and own it, and find what works for you, have that outlet, and speak up, because we don't want to see girls losing girls to the game because of the pressures and the stresses around it, because they haven't had the appropriate support. So it's tough. It's tough, and I say this wholeheartedly, and I've done it numerous times. If you're struggling, you want to talk to someone, reach out. Like, get my number, flick me a message on, Insta, Facebook, whatever. Like, reach out. I'm always open for a chat around injury, mental health, like chat, coffee, whatever you want. Like, I know that's a lot of the older girls too. Like, we're here to support that younger group, because we want to make sure that they're looked after, and, so just speak up and, shout out, and, what you're going through. Like, we hear you, we see you, and it's not in your head. So just have that, empower yourself to reach out and process it correctly.
I love that. And I guess to break it down into 3, you talked about your injury and being isolated for those 8 weeks. You can't walk, you can't drive, you can't do anything. So if we think about isolation, relationships, and your game, with isolation, being alone, you said to reach out, but if you are completely alone, you don't have family, you don't have friends, or you are too scared to reach out, what are probably, let's say, 2 things? Isolated, how do you, is it watching a movie? Is it writing it down? Is it, what are 2 things you'd say?
Oh, look, there's so many things. I think journaling, especially if you've got a lot up here, you've got to get it out. Yeah. Whether that's me picking the phone up and talking to you, if you don't have that support system, or you're not comfortable enough to have those hard conversations, or have someone where you can just ramble, say things, and I can guarantee you, the second that you get it off your chest and it's down on paper, or you've recorded it, record yourself, voice record yourself and listen back to it. The second that you get it out of here and out, say it, you feel that relief on your chest. And I can wholeheartedly say that. Very recently, like I had Lauren Milner, she's a manager, Bulldogs manager, and a good friend of mine, and she was my sounding board for a lot of things. And, as scary as it probably could have been for her, I needed to say something, but I needed to say something to a safe space. And I was pulling away from everyone, and every now and then I'd just say something, and the second I said it, it was like I'd be like, oh, breath, that's off, and then I'd touch base there and stuff like that. So journaling's fantastic. It's about keeping, it depends. It might work for you to keep your mind active. So it could be watching a movie or a TV series where you can get out of your head for 5 minutes and just relax. For me, it's Sudoku or solitaire, because it's, it's getting your brain concentrating on something else.
Yeah.
Finding what works for you. Like, my happy place is the beach, put my feet in the water, just watching the waves. So I'd go and sit there. It's about what makes you happy, I guess, and it's huge because I'm a massive, I want to see other people happy, and how do I make you smile before I actually probably make myself smile. But I've spoken on it before, and if this is my cup that I'm pouring out of and it's sitting on empty, how am I supposed to pour into your cup? I'm pouring from an empty cup. I'm exhausting myself. So it's definitely not selfish to put yourself first. Say no to things. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with saying no. Look, I'm not up to going out today.
Yeah.
If you've got good people around you, they'd understand.
100%.
I've got to fill this cup up before I can pour out of it. So you've got to put yourself first. You've got to be selfish in preparation, in your mental health, and making sure that you're okay first before then you can go out to someone else and, be around other people and things like that. So find what works for you. Happy to have a chat with you. You can Google it. Suggestions around it might be meditation. It might just be sitting, listening to music, chucking your headphones on full blast. I know that I get in the car sometimes and I just go for a bit of a drive, crank the music, don't have a plan, just go for a bit of a drive. Again, because when you're driving, you're focused on what's in front of you, so your mind's not going. So you just got to find what works. Yeah. There's so many things out there, and it's so good how good the mental health space is at the moment, like with coping mechanisms and support systems and things like that. So try journaling, get it off your chest. For a starter, and just find something that makes your brain get out of your own head for a moment.
And with, I guess, relationships as well, social media plays a big part in the game, in the sport, in our personal lives. Mm-hmm. If you're isolated and you're seeing your teammates going out for coffees, going to the beach, how do you still feel included in that? Like, is it, I guess, in your perspective, players, do they reach out, your teammates reach out, like, hey, can I come over and hang out? How does that kind of...
Yeah, look, I'm really fortunate. I've played with, I've played against, and I've got really good friends, within the women's space, and they constantly reached out and checked in, and you remember those ones. Like, I can tell you now, if you're in a rough period, the people that notice and the people that reach out, they're the real ones. Hang on to them. Mm-hmm. In saying that as well, you can't hold judgment. Like, if I'm like, why haven't you reached out to me? You got a life too. You got your own struggles. You might have. So don't hold judgment to the ones that don't either. People go through a lot. So, but very fortunate, like, I've got Kez on the phone all the time, and Emma's living down in Wollongong and she's offering to come over for a coffee, and I'm in Northern Beaches. Like, that to me is commitment, you know what I mean? And things like that. I had people reaching out all the time, and that's why I love the women's game as well. Like I said, we can go out and literally bash the shit out of each other, and then we're best mates off it. And we've got a really, really amazing group of women within that space. So I was fortunate. Like I said, I had people reach out, but it's hang on to the ones that do, because they're the real ones, and they're the ones you want to surround yourself with. So, and sometimes it comes from people you may never expect as well. Out of the blue, you've hardly spoken to this person, but they've reached out to check in on you, and you're thinking, wow, oh yeah, that's pretty special. Like, that shows that person's true character. So, but also, on the flip of that, like, check in on your teammates too. Oh, they were a bit quiet today. That's not like her. Like, shoot them a text. Doesn't have to be like, hey, directly, hey, how are you? But just let them know that you're there. Yep. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important too.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that it is really important. I remember the friends that kind of turn up, and then I also don't hold judgment to the ones that don't, because they do have their own lives. So.
Exactly. Some of them might just be assholes, but not all of them. But
not all of them.
It took me a long time. Not that I ever held judgment, but I went through an experience where I had a person over here being like, this person's not checking in on me. And then on the flip of that, this person over here that they're referring to going through their own, divorce or massive issue over here. And I'm like, they're not checking in on themselves. How do you expect, you got to see it from both sides 100%. As well. So I think that's important as well. And like I said, on the flip of that, make sure that you're the one checking in on people as well.
Yeah. You touched on it earlier, your collarbone you hurt in BMD. You don't have to answer, but will you be okay for NRLW?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Hell yeah, I can't wait. I missed pre-season last year with my knee injury, so this is how much of a head case I am. I'm like, get me into pre-season, Vaughan, flog me, get me sprinting, I want to vomit, let's go, because pre-season's when you build those relationships, you build that bonding, it's like us versus them, they're trying to kill us, fuck you guys. But, but it shows someone's true character. We're busting ourselves out there and you've tapped out because you're thinking, I don't want you on the field next to me. This person over here is dry reaching and literally limping and let's fucking go. And you're like, that's the person I want on the field next to me. So it's like a character building and I can't wait. But, the only restriction it'll be possibly coming into pre-season, so it's official pre-season 3 weeks away, would be around sort of contact, so managing that. But it's should be good to go. Round one, I can't wait.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So you signed with the Sunshine Coast Falcons in the BMD. I'm assuming you would have liked to stay in New South Wales to play in Harveys.
Yeah.
I know not many New South Wales people actually went to go play in Queensland, so why did you?
Like I said before, I just want to play.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older. People are like, why don't you look after yourself? And I'm like, I came in late. I started playing when I was 27. I was late. So the more games I can play, the better. And I've said this to my manager a couple of times. I'm like, those old school cars where you're like, it takes a bit to get it started, and then you got to let it sit for a second, but then she's good to go. So that's sort of like me. It takes me a little bit to warm up. That's why I want more games in NRL, but it takes me a bit to warm up, and then I can then hit my straps. So for me, I was thinking, I missed pre-season last year. I came in underdone. For me, it was about preparation. So I wanted that, games under my belt, the match fitness, the match conditioning, where I came into pre-season full head of steam, let's go. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but I was only speaking to Tony, Sharks coach, yesterday. We had a conversation. I said, look, it is what it is. And I think in hindsight, looking back on it, the universe probably looked after me a little bit because, it is a big commitment flying up there every weekend. I've just moved house. A few other sort of things, like I said, my personal mental health and stuff like that. I don't know how I would have coped flying up there. In saying that, Falcons from the get-go were very supportive of, hey, you work full time. Talk to us if there's a day that you can't come up, if you've got commitments, if it's too expensive, just talk to us. And I was like, no, if I commit to a team, I commit to a team wholeheartedly. I ain't missing a game. That's just me. I'm not going to commit half-hearted to anything. So look, I look back on it and I thought, the universe was like, hang on, you need to sit still for a second. You got to do some work on yourself for a moment. You're going to find your own space over here. You're going to settle, get yourself on the right path. I think I would have probably have fatigued, or something could have happened in that time or even NRL, I could have dipped, mentally and things like that. So I think it was the universe. No one wants to go through an injury. But I think it was the universe saying hang on a second, we need you just to hold tight for a second and sort this shit out, and then you're good to go. So that's how I'm choosing to look at it. And pressure, these difficult times, pressure creates diamonds, we speak about that. And, it's like like a rebirth kind of thing, and giving myself a fresh start and new perspective, and really refreshing my mind more so than anything else. Because if your mind's no good, you can be the fittest person in the world, but if your mind's no good, then you're not gonna succeed. So I think it was just to hit the reset button at the right time. And look, it was devastating. I was enjoying my time up there at Falcons. Incredible people, incredible organisation. The women there, fantastic. I'd played 2 games with some of the girls. I met them twice, 3 times, and they're still messaging me, checking in. You know what I mean? That's the quality of players and organisation that they have up there. So it is what it is, and I'd love to at some point go back up there and repay them and play some games or help out or whatever I can to repay them for that. So it is what it is, can't change it, processed it, and let's go, let's move on.
Love that. I know we haven't even hit the 2024 season, but looking at 2025, Caitlin Johnston is coming to the club. Is she coming to take your spot?
She can have it. I'm not going to fight it.
No.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
Look, that's probably shocked. That's probably one of the biggest shock signings, Caitlin is she's such a young person. But she's wise and mature beyond her years. Like Yazzie Clydesdale will joke about, she's the mum of the group.
Oh,
she's
really?
youngest, she's baby. Yeah. But she's the mum, you go out and you're like, oh shit, I need a Band-Aid, I need a tampon. She's like, oh, I've got it in my bag. And I'm not joking, have you got an umbrella, it's raining, have you got a jumper, it's quite cold outside. Wow. She's so wise and mature beyond her years. I can't speak enough about that. And she's an incredible, incredible human. And I know for a fact, she wouldn't have taken playing somewhere else lightly. She's come through the Newcastle system. She was, Lisa Fowler, Tasha Gale, captain. She played Harveys with us for a few years, went to the Roosters because obviously Newcastle didn't have a team, went straight back there. She was the first signing for the Newcastle Knights. And I think that speaks volumes of who she is as a person and a player. Why it was so important for them to get her as that number one signature. So, I don't know, whether she just wants to step outside her comfort zone and really challenge herself. I think that's probably a bit of an aspect to it. She's always striving for better and wanting to be better. And I think it's probably just a challenge for herself. So it's really exciting. Spoke to Tony yesterday, like I said, and I was probably a bit nervous. I thought, am I getting booted here? And he's like, nah, look, we want to make a statement with the forward pack and how do you go past the best front rower in the competition in the world, I would say, and he's like, it's just about building that platform and having the players around. I'm obviously a smaller forward, in that lock position, and to have, someone like Caitlin Johnston on one side, and then Ellie on the other side.
Crazy.
I'm happy. You know what I mean? So, any team, they're not going to pass up on Caitlin Johnston. How do you say no to that? So, I think Caitlin and I have played a bit together. I think we complement each other well. She's great to get off the back of. She'll bend that defensive line, and I can come in behind the ruck. And I think if we get the opportunity to play together again next year, I look forward to it. Why wouldn't you want to play off the back of Caitlin? And she's a creative player. She's a ball player as well. You could put her anywhere. She plays in the back row, on the edge, plays in the middle. We're only just seeing how good she is. She hasn't even scratched the surface, which is scary. So
very scary.
As a current Sharks player, thinking, she's in Sharks colours next year, I'm happy about that. I don't want to tackle her anymore. So exciting times ahead. But, I shot her a message and, I was a bit shocked. I didn't know. And, huge congratulations to her. And I know she's doing it for the right reasons and fully support her and love that she's, doing something different and, forging her own path and challenging herself. And again, it just speaks of the person that she is. She's incredible.
Yeah, talking about the Sharks, you guys seem like a really tight-knit group. Taylor Preston already kind of touched on it.
She's an idiot.
Yeah, oh, really?
She's an idiot.
Why?
No one likes her. No. Look, we are. We're a really close group, and a lot of those Cronulla girls have played together for a long time. I went and played Harveys with them a couple of years ago, and I wanted to play with Quincy. I think I play my best football off Quincy as my hooker, and and then having the opportunity to play with, some of those girls, Tale I'd played a bit with, trained a bit with in Origin and stuff like that. And, Tiana and Corbin and, all these girls, Sammy Bremner was back that year. And I just sort of said, look, it's not even remotely about money or anything. I want to play with my mates. And obviously there was the point system back then. So we made it work. And I was, forever grateful for that opportunity, and had some of the best laughs, best times, you know, with these girls. Very, very close with Teagan Dimmick, and she was one player, obviously being a middle, like I enjoy playing off, and we've spoken a bit, Teags and I, about how we are comfortable with each other. Like, I trust her on the field, she trusts me, and that's massive for me to hear her say, like, you're a player I want to play next to. So, you know, she's like, I'm at ease if I'm looking to my left or right and you're there, I'm at ease, and the feeling's very mutual. So, yeah, to have that opportunity to play there, and like I said, some of those girls have known each other forever and played together forever, and to come in and feel so welcomed, and you know, just get the opportunity then to go back. It was a huge decision to go to Cronulla, to leave the Dragons. That's my family. That's all I'd known for 5 years, and they were fantastic. They looked after me, but I had to be selfish. The travel was just getting a bit too much, and you know, Sally and I had grown really close, and it wasn't anything other than I just had to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, I would save myself hours on hours, just cutting my travel in half. So something had to give, and unfortunately it was signing closer to home, and it broke my heart, and it still breaks my heart, you know, to think about. Like, I don't wear the red V at the moment, but you know, I was happy to go somewhere different, and just kind of a bit of a refresher. And like I said, the girls that are there, they're incredible, and the banter's like nothing else. So, you know, you saw when you had Tay on, like some of the questions that are getting shot to her from some of the girls, like, she's the biggest shit talker. I swear to God, she should wear a bib half the time, because she just dribbles shit. So honestly, sort yourself out, Taylor. She's an incredible human too, though. Like, she lives life to the fullest, and she's the happiest person. Again, though, like, for someone that's younger, all the talent in the world, she's got incredible banter, she's just happy, you know, she's fantastic. But then, like, you know, I've got her on the phone because she's a bit in her head about things like that, and I'm like, you know, I'm grateful that I'm, you know, someone there that she can chat to and stuff like that. And I think we forget as well, people, those happy people that are so happy, and they're the first person to make someone laugh or hang shit on themselves or hang shit on me. But you know, there's those struggles as well. So, but everyone there, like, we have the funniest group. Like, it's the best dynamic, and you know, when we cross the white line for training, we're there to train, and you know, and then we know we can have a laugh and a giggle outside of it. And I know, like, a lot of those girls have got my back 100%, and I feel the same about them. So I think that's the part of it, you know, building that trust and strong foundation within your teammates. So very fortunate to play in a group with some of my best mates. So I love it.
Talking about your personal game, what do you think you need to improve coming into this season?
I just think taking a bit more ownership of that middle. I was a little bit lackluster last year. I come in 10 kilos lighter through my injury, and just couldn't put the weight back on, and probably second guessed myself a lot, and didn't want to overstep on people's toes that had been through all the pre-season, done all this yuck stuff, and then I've come in and, like, hey, I'm playing this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
In saying that, I'd worked my ass off to get to that position, but it's not pleasant, you know, a girl missing out on a potential debut because I've come back, and you know, that was playing in my head a lot. Like, I've got to make sure I do my job well, because I've got to repay the girls' faith. So I think I went away a lot from my natural game, and just didn't really take ownership of that middle, and it was a bit probably clunky from me. So for myself this season, I just want to really own that middle, direct through the middle, be that link for for Em and Tay, and just really kind of, I want teams to know I'm on the field. That's sort of my goal. And I said to Tony yesterday, I got tunnel vision at the moment. Like, I'm not looking anywhere else. I've got blinkers on. I'm coming in to make a statement this NRLW season. So I'm going to absolutely bust my ass, and just really, I want to play to my ability that I know that I can. And that was another thing last year. I was playing really good footy at the Bulldogs, and had a really good season, and felt really comfortable, and and then to be injured the game before the grand final, and then all this sort of stuff. So a lot of self-doubt. I've worked hard on that, and I'm just coming in to F shit up. Yeah. Like, I want to make a statement. I want teams to know that they've played me, and that's sort of my goal. And really sort of take that ownership of directing the team through that middle and getting us on the front foot.
Yeah, makes me really excited to see you on the field. I guess you
just don't hurt me, Caitlin.
Yeah, well, talking about Caitlin, is there someone that you're actually afraid to come up against that you wouldn't want to get tackled by? Or
I think as you just prepare, like if someone puts a mad shot on you, you know, you get up and you're smiling and you're like, fuck me, you got me. Where's my third rib? Look, to be honest, there's so many, like, you know, you can look at Caitlin Johnson can absolutely flatten you, like same with Samima Taufa. I'm still trying to find my ribs from 2018. She got me a butte at their home game. I still haven't recovered from that. I'm still winded. This was years ago. Samima, give me my ribs back. You know, and then like you're looking at like Hannah Southwell is the most perfect textbook tackler. Like she'll upend you, and you can't get a cleaner tackle than Hannah. And if you're on the end of it, you know, you get picked up, you got to go for a ride, and hopefully you land on your back. But you know, so there's a lot of players, you know, scared of. I wouldn't say I'm scared. Like, you know, if I'm lined up against Caitlin, I'm thinking I've got a job here to do. Like, it's going to be a long day, and you prepare for that. And you know, like you've got players like Hadata who played with us last year, Butler, and she's just a maniac. She's 0 to 100. There's like, we'd be at training, we're like, what is it, like 60%, 70? And then she'd come in and run step aside, like, it's 60. Like, she got no 60, it's 100. Nothing or 100. Yeah. So players like that, you just think, oh, I think she's actually going to murder me. But, you know, there's a lot of players out there that just play to compete, and you take the hits, like you take your medicine sometimes. Like I say to players as well, if you're out here and you're worried about getting hit, you're playing the wrong sport. Like there's going to be times where you have to bite down your mouth guard and take that shitty run for the sake of the team, and or cop that hospital ball. Apologies, Eels game last year, I gave Brooke Anderson an absolute beauty of a hospital. Sorry, Brookie. I still see the replay on some of the socials. It wasn't my best, but you know, she got up, straight back up, and played the ball and gave me shit for it later. But that's part of it, you know. Yeah, you get on with the job. You got to expect to get whacked, and for me, I'm just like, all right, number 10, I'm coming for you next. Like, you know, it's like you make it a competition, you 100%. Know, you size your opposition up, and as long as you're giving the respect to the player opposite you, like I said, you know, if I'm coming up, especially in the middle, like I'm playing people like Samima Taufa and Caitlin Johnson and Hannah Southwell, and you know, and then, you know, you see like Jess Ellison, you know, played an absolute, what a season she had last season. Incredible. And, you know, Beebs and all these players where I just think, you know, I give every player in front of me the respect, and, you know, and then you cross that line and it's like, I respect you, but I'm going to try and beat you. Yeah. So, and it's a mutual sort of thing. So, like I said, you take a hit sometimes and you think, yeah, that hurts, but let's get on with it. Like, get up, pride, ego, get on.
You guys don't show it. You don't show it.
Yeah, there's a couple of times, you know, like you kind of get like, but like Samima got me an absolute beauty. Like I was like proper wheezing.
Oh, really?
Like,
oh like, no.
I couldn't get anything in. And I thought, whoa. Yeah. It took me a while to get the breath back in. And I thought, Jesus Christ, who the hell is that? Who was that ball of muscle that just rocketed into my ribs? So yeah, it's part and parcel. You just expect it, and try and shake off as much as you can. Yeah.
You mentioned at the start of our chat that you're obviously working in the housing organisation, helping people get into affordable housing, which is incredible, and obviously mental work. But after NRLW, you're already touching on mental health and how valuable that is, and you've got so much insight to give to other people. Do you think that would be something that you'd look at after your NRLW career to help in the wellbeing space?
Look, I'd love to. Like, I mean, I'm in an industry where, you know, we're dealing with high complexities of clients that have got, you know, an array of history and disabilities, and so like, I love to give back, but in the mental health space, I think I'd have to do a lot more education around it. I can happily sit and speak of my own experiences, and if that lands for someone, that's incredible, and open to have a chat anytime. But I'm definitely not, I don't know, I'm not even scratching the surface of what I know, sort of thing. But like I've got I'm certified in certain areas of community services and things like that, but I'd love to reach out a bit more about that, to have a bit more understanding and knowledge about how the brain actually works and what's going on there. But like sort of after footy and stuff like that, I'd love to be involved somehow, whether that's coaching or doing something like that. I'd love to be coaching, even player management and things like that, where I'm in the space and helping back and giving back and representing the girls, sort of thing. So hopefully that's still a few years off. I like I said, I started late. I appear old, but I still think I got a lot in my body left because I haven't had that. I haven't been knocked about as often as much as some of the young girls now coming through that system that have played. So I think that'll work in my favour. And as long as Ali's still playing, I can play. She's older than me, so I'm in trouble once she retires.
Talking about the younger girls, some of them are getting their shot really young, like Jessie Southwell. What advice do you have to those girls coming through, mentally preparing for an industry like this, even though it's not full time, but it is such a transition. You're getting recognised, you're having to play on TV, you're getting criticised. How do you...
I think, look, Jessie she was a special one. Probably for her, that helped her as well. Like, she'd come through the 7 system. She'd been in a professional system since a young age. Same with Han. I think first and foremost, for any younger girls coming through, before you get into the pressures and all that other stuff, like, I want the younger girls to understand the sacrifices that were made to get the game where we are, what past players have gone through, like I said, selling raffle tickets, having to pay to play. I want them to come in and have an appreciation of where we're at. Like, some young girls can come in and their first season they're earning 50K. How good's that? But at the same time, like, be grateful for the opportunity, but respect the journey that we've been on. Don't disrespect the past players prior to us to come in with a big head and, like, I'm on this, and, not appreciating the journey that these women before us have paved. So I think having that appreciation and understanding, like, if you're not sure, like, Google some of the stories, like, listen to Tasha Gale speak, like, have really respect the journey first and foremost. If you respect the women's space and show that gratitude, it'll look after you. We're fortunate at the moment, we don't get too much backlash. I mean, I guess we are at the moment, like, we do more so now, but at the end of the day, like, don't listen to the outside world. The ones that talk the most shit are the ones that have done nothing with their life. They sit behind a laptop or a keyboard. Who the fuck are they to judge your journey and what you've done? And like, you may have 5 really great games and have a bad one, or something happen and the media might write about it. Acknowledge it, whatever it is, let it go. Talk to the people you need to talk about, process it, whatever it might be. You're human at the end of the day. You're a human first for a player. So fuck what they say, to be honest. Like, we spoke about having that core group around you and your teammates, and you support. Their opinion matters. Your coach's opinion matters. If you're having a shit game, why you're having a shit game. The coach might be the reason why you've had a terrible game, because they've changed the game plan. It's not suiting what you want to do and it's not working. The coach then takes ownership of that. But fuck the outside noise. And I think especially these people that post shit on social media. I mean, you saw the absolutely crude and horrible comments that were about Caitlin recently. Like, that was disgusting. Like, humanity sometimes think, like, what the fuck's wrong with people these days? But, knowing Caitlin, she'll put on the chin. That's not phasing her. But again, like, she's a very, very strong young woman, and there's people out there that probably won't have that understanding. So don't worry about them. The people around you, their opinion matters. Your teammate, the person out there on the field with you, getting bashed around and doing whatever, like, that opinion matters. Tom that's writing a comment on social media, fuck Tom.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Fuck Tom.
Fuck Tom.
Sorry, Tom. I don't know any Toms, but
No, I think that's such great insight, and I think that'll definitely help a lot of young girls coming into this space. We've got Mona Lisa on after you.
Good luck.
Yeah, I really might.
She doesn't talk.
I'll get her to talk, I will.
Mona, bring your voice.
I'll get her to talk.
Nah, she's cool. She's cool. She's you'll enjoy that. She's really cool. But yeah, she doesn't talk.
Yeah. No, but it's great to have that insight, and I think with a lot of the younger girls who are incredible, the skill level that they're bringing, I think they will see themselves in the NRLW at quite a young age. So to be able to navigate those emotions and process it and be ready for that industry is going to be so good. We answered all the questions that I had for Holli, but now we're going to jump into the questions that you guys asked. So from Tamara Lee 79, did you play many games with the Falcons? I know you touched on it already.
I only got 2 games. The injury happened, I think, 2 minutes before full time.
Yeah, that's rough.
Second game.
Yeah. So only 2 games. Will you play for the Bulldogs? And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but you can, obviously exclusive. I hope you get captain. If you do, from A Fisher 2021.
Thank you. Yeah, look, I'm off contract at the end of this season. I've been very vocal of the Bulldogs club, and that was my team growing up and who I supported. I spoke to Tony yesterday and...
Oh, sorry, I'll just make sure it's...
You're all right.
Yeah, go.
I spoke to Tony yesterday and obviously was, open with, like, if I was to go to another club, it would be Bulldogs. At this stage, there's no, offers or contracts or anything like that. I'm open to have a chat with them because I think the inner child in me, and it's my team growing up. So I think it'd break my own heart at least not having a chat with them.
Yeah.
Like I said, enjoyed my time with them last season. So see what happens. But at the moment, like I said to you, tunnel vision 2024 for the Sharks. So that's my focus at the moment.
Love that. Favourite footy memory from Hannah Gray?
Probably my Origin.
Yes.
Origin debut, and that was pretty special. And honestly, representing my first game for Bulldogs last year, like I grew up buying a Bulldogs jersey. I got presented one. I got to run out my own jersey, which was pretty special. So it wasn't 8 sizes too big because Dad made me buy it too big, so it fit me for a few years because they're expensive. Got my own jersey, so that for me, like I said, that inner child in me screaming, how good is this?
So good. Okay, this one, Holli. How long did your dad play for the Camden Rams from YTG with Nip?
He'll kill me if I don't say 78. Stop the nation. They won the premiership in 78. Dad played, I couldn't tell you exactly how many years, but he's from Camden. So he grew up, he played for Camden Rams, and then moved down sort of up to Foster sort of area where he met my mum. But that was his team. That's who he played with. So I think he was juniors through to early 20s, maybe just before 20. I think he moved when he was younger, but 78, they won the comp, and he's got his only tattoo he had, his first tattoo was a 78 on his, because he's like, you wait, he'll ring any of his mates and he's like, you ask him about 78. 78 Camden Rams won. Stop the nation.
Love that. What's it like seeing and I think you touched on this earlier, but what's it like seeing all new players coming through and them saying they look up to you, by Amelia Phillips?
It's a pretty humbling experience. You're seeing these incredibly talented athletes come through and they're saying, like, you give them a compliment, or you help them out a little bit, or you try this, or like, let's build this, and they're like, oh, thank you, I appreciate that so much. Like no, like we're teammates, like we're equal level, like level playing field here, you know what I mean? Like if you're next to me and you've got the same jersey on, even if you're not, on my team, but it's about that growth and respect that we've got. So, it's pretty incredible to have that, players saying that, and it's something that I'll never get used to. Or, like I said, it's quite a humbling experience. So at the same time, I look back to them and I'm like, man, you're talented. Like
crazy.
Mutual respect here. So I think that's really something incredible about the women's space too, the appreciation there.
Love that. This isn't really a question, but from Ali Bullman, footy facials, always on point. It's so funny that she says that because I remember you like messaged me about your hair and how we kept stitching you up.
Yeah.
There's no shark sweater. You got to get your shark sweater this year. Seriously.
Well, I've got one from last year. I can give you one on my hair.
No, but you're proper like this one.
Oh, because I didn't get it.
Yes.
I didn't get it because I was injured. I wasn't there. But
that's what we need.
Shut up, Ali. Shut up, Ali. No, I have a habit of it looks like I'm holding my breath.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know that I'm doing it, but a lot of them I'm like in my I don't know. It's like or like a blowing it out kind of thing. I don't know if it's bracing for contact, but
maybe.
I am very highly talented in pulling horrendous mug shots during a game. So if anyone needs that.
I guess with content, you don't make it easy for me to pick nice photos.
Wow.
So maybe while you're like in game,
like
just
this?
smiling. Yeah,
sure.
Let's
I'll
go.
try. Like, look at this head case giggling. Like, yeah. Look, I'll try my hardest. Okay, sorry guys.
From Ames Cody Ruby, how tough do you feel with head tape?
It's a proven fact. Taping your head makes you 22% tougher. Amy can vouch for that. She used to tape her head too. So my brother does it, Amy does it, I do it. And proven fact, 22% tougher.
Yeah.
That true statistics there. Amy's crunched the numbers. But yeah, look, it's actually, and also Keely Davis made the comment to me one time, I think the taping on your head makes you tougher. She's like, you go to like a next level, like you're a beast with your head taped. And so when we played against each other, and then when we played for drag, and she was like, are you taping your head? I said, fucking oath I am. So 22% tougher.
Yeah, love that. Is it like, was the approach to that to make you feel tougher, or was it like to have your hair kept back?
My hair kept back. So my dad was always like, stop fucking playing with your hair. Like you're constantly, I don't do the braids and stuff. I've done them before and I played a really shitty game and I was like, I'm never wearing braids again. So I did it to try and keep my hair out of my face a little bit, but and then I sort of did it as a bit of a joke one day, and then I was like, oh fuck, that really works. And then it was really good because I spoke a bit about it, but my grandfather got really ill. He was my best mate, my biggest supporter. He was battling a lot of health issues, and towards the end of his journey, my auntie had him set up. He'd lost both of his legs, and by that time, and my auntie would sit him up in his bed and have the TV on, and they'd watch as many games as they could. So by wearing the white, I'd put the white head tape on with the black because it stood out a bit better, and he knew who I was then. So it was a bit of a, it was like I was happy to wear it, and I was changing here and there about wearing it some days and then not. And then when I knew Pop was watching and it made it easier for him, it was like non-negotiable. And now it'll stay now. Stay.
Oh, I love that. That's such a nice reason. And then finally, Origin this week on Thursday. What is your prediction? Obviously, I'll let you say. Obviously, and a try scorer for game 1.
I'm really excited. I'd love to be running out in a blue jersey, but I've got an opportunity to do a bit of commentary with Fox Sports on Thursday, so I'm really excited about that. Love talking footy, so look, New South Wales 100%. I think it'll be quite a close game. It's really it's a difficult period this year because obviously the girls have come in with no real games unless they've played BMD. Obviously all of the Queenslanders have been playing BMD, so they've had that match fitness. In saying that, New South Wales have been in camp sort of 6-7 weeks, a couple of times a week, and knowing Kylie, she's an absolute competitor, and she's there to win, and I know she's picked the best possible team for her game plan, and she's got Rue right next to her, who's one of the greatest IQs in footy. So New South Wales close, maybe by 10 or 12.
Okay.
It'll be close. Chapo is going to score sometime there, or Emma. Chapo, Emma.
Yeah, I'm scared about those two. Definitely.
Yeah, Chapo is like the gangliest looking thing in the world. Doesn't even look like she's running fast, and she's smoking people, and she's like a pinball. Me and Quince and Tala used to laugh, like she's a pinball. She'll just bounce off, bounce down, and then next minute she's this gazelle in space. Crazy. And then you think, is she even running fast? And no one can catch her. So she's just unpredictable. I don't even think she knows what she's doing half the time, which makes her scary. So Chapo for sure. she's always going to find that white line, and she's a competitor. I don't think I've met anyone more competitive than Emma.
Yeah.
Love playing with her. She scares the shit out of me though. Like, she screams at me, uses my full name on the field. Very scary, but she's a competitor. Like, she'll keep going and she won't stop. Yeah. So I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
I think both teams have picked really, really strong sides. I think I love Ali and Locke. You know, to then have Taryn and Z, like, and she can just pick and choose when she's coming in, and I think that'll benefit her. And, you know, she's like smaller, but she loves tackling. Yeah. Great textbook tackler too, and she'll love being in the middle. She likes that. She's played that role for them a couple of times, so I think that's scary. If you're, you know, watching from a New South Wales perspective, having her in the middle, you think, God, what's going to happen here? But you know, I think New South Wales have, you know, gone with the team. I know there's a lot of backlash around selections and people missing out and things like that. You got to understand as well, these girls have been in camp, you know, for 6-7 weeks, busting their asses, building these combinations. And I have no doubt Kylie's picked the best possible team to get the job done. So, you know, it's unfortunate when people miss out, but they need to use that to ignite that fire in their belly and come back stronger and work on what they need to work on and reflect and do what they need to do to get back in that squad. So I'm really excited. I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be a cracker, I'm sure of it. And how good 3 games.
3 games, finally.
About damn time.
Yes, literally about
yeah,
damn
I can't wait. So
it's going to be
excited.
Good. Well,
you want to have a bet about it?
Huh?
Do you want to have like a bet or something?
Yeah, let's go.
What do you want to bet?
Well, let's do like the score line. You said
I'll go 10.
Yeah, 10. All right, I'm going 6. I'm going 6. Queensland.
Yeah.
Queensland.
All right.
And
next coffee. We'll go next coffee.
Yeah.
So next coffee.
Yeah.
Whoever Queensland wins.
Coffee.
I gotta give you coffee. Yeah, right.
She already bought me one this morning, which was really nice. So thanks, Holly.
Hostess.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy
coffee.
with that. Yeah, coffee.
I'm humble. I'll take the win.
All right. No,
3 coffees by the end of it. Clean sweep.
3 coffees, jeez. But thank you so much for joining me, Holly.
Pleasure.
I appreciate you sharing so much about your personal life, and I know a lot of people will appreciate that as well. But yeah, I'm so grateful to have you on.
Really, really honoured and happy to be here. And, you know, I've watched, you know, your page and your support grow from, you know, I think you first started a couple of years ago, you know,
nothing.
You built it up and you were persistent in that, and you could see that what you were doing was you loved the game and you wanted to grow the game, and you wanted us to have a page just for us and have those insights. And, you know, we're really grateful for you taking the time as well to put that spotlight on our beautiful game, and you know, we appreciate it, and I love seeing the girls get behind you as much as, you know, you've supported us. So we thank you for your, you know, involvement in the women's space, and whatever we can do to help you grow this platform and you know, grow whatever we can with you. You know, we're only too happy to do that. So from the players, you know, we appreciate you and thank you.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. I'm never ready for you guys to come back at me, so I'm like, how do I end it now? But yeah, thank you so much, Holly. And you guys, this will be an amazing chat, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you. All right, bye guys.